In this video, I'm going to be talking about supplements and specifically how to choose clinically effective supplements to help you to clear high-risk HPV virus naturally using nutrients, herbs, and other natural products. So I'm Dr. Doni Wilson. I'm a naturopathic doctor, midwife, and clinical nutritionist, and an expert in helping women to address high-risk HPV virus and abnormal pap smears, meaning abnormal cells on the cervix, as well as potentially the vagina or vulva or other areas. And I started helping women in this area over 25 years ago when I was in naturopathic medical school, specializing in women's health care, and have subsequently helped thousands of women from around the world to clear high-risk HPV virus to negative and prevent it from coming back again. I want to be clear, even before we start to go into the supplements and how to choose supplements, I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from, because I have a completely different approach and a completely different perspective. First of all, I see in clinical cases that I work with and in the research that the human body has the ability to clear high-risk HPV virus to negative and prevent it, even if you're re-exposed to it. That's one truth you must know before going any further. Number two is that I'm not just going for temporary results. So some people, a lot of people who reach out to me, they might be taking a supplement or other strategy to help them address HPV, but it's really a temporary fix. They're looking for something that's going to quickly get it to negative, but not lead to lasting results. I'm not interested in a quick fix. I'm going to be sharing with you a long-term solution. And the third thing is to understand that I also don't believe that it's effective to have to take these supplements for the rest of your life. So anyone who's giving you suggestions and telling you you're now going to have to continue taking whichever supplements they're recommending for the rest of your life is not giving you a comprehensive, complete solution. Okay, so that's my first three guidelines, is for you to understand that, first of all, the human body has the ability to clear the virus, your immune system, your microbiome. And I cover this in other videos. So if you would like to learn more about that, definitely watch my other videos. Number two is that it's not about a single pill, like a quick fix or a magic pill. It's not that. We have to be going for a long-term solution. That's the strategy I'm taking. And the third thing is that it's not good enough to think that you're going to have to take a huge, long list of supplements for the rest of your life. That also is not a solution. I'm wanting you to learn how to help your body protect you from high-risk HPV, not become reliant on an external source in order to help you protect you from HPV, okay? So with that in mind, I would like to first cover 5 common mistakes I see people make, because all the time women come to me and they meet with me one-on-one or in a group program, and they say to me, Dr. Doni, this is what I've been taking for the past 3 months or 6 months or years even, and the HPV hasn't gone away. So what am I missing, right? And so I want to share with you the 5 most common mistakes I find when I review supplements that people are taking to try to fend off HPV. And I'll tell you right away, here's where the mistakes are, so you can already correct those mistakes. We're starting now. And then I'm going to show you how I think through creating a comprehensive protocol of supplements, because it takes a different way of thinking to make it comprehensive and strategic and effective. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing is, what are the 5 most common mistakes? And the first is thinking that you're going to focus on a single supplement. I can't tell you how many women come in to see me and they're like, well, I've been taking this one supplement. Maybe it's AHCC, which a lot of people hear about because there's a lot of marketing and a lot of awareness about AHCC. AHCC is an extract of shiitake mushrooms is a patented extract. So a company in Japan extracted this substance they call AHCC from shiitake mushrooms, and they patented it, and now they sell it in 2 companies around the world, specifically here in the United States. And they also paid for a lot of research on this particular patented substance. So we have information about AHCC, and so a lot of people are aware of it. But I want to warn you against thinking that that's your whole solution. You really, if you put all your eggs in that basket, so to speak, you may or may not get results. And so I hear from women all the time who say, I've been taking AHCC for a long time at the recommended doses, and the HPV hasn't gone away. So I just want you to know that it's not 100% effective. In fact, the research studies, and there's, as I mentioned, the company that produces AHCC has paid for a lot of research, and that research shows between 63 and 75% effectiveness at helping women to get HPV to negative. Now to get it to negative, that's not research to show how long then do you have to take it. And so sometimes women are taking it high. Usually you have to take a dose of 6 grams for at least 3 to 6 months for it to help you clear the virus, and then you would potentially have to continue taking that dose ongoing in order to prevent it from coming back again. And so to me, this is not a full solution. We're looking for something that has much higher than 63 to 75% effectiveness, and we're also looking for something that doesn't require you to take it forever. Now, it is something that I would include in a comprehensive plan. Certainly, mushroom extracts in general, and certainly AHCC does have some good effectiveness based on the research. So it's something you could include in your overall plan, but it's not the only thing I would recommend taking. And it's not even the first thing. There's several things I would do before adding AHCC based on clinical effectiveness, and I'll talk that through in a minute. Also, to know that there's more potent and higher absorbed AHCC formula. So if you're just getting any old AHCC that you find online, you might not be getting the highest efficacy from it. So if you go through a practitioner, you can access the professional practitioner grade version of AHCC that has 67% higher potency. And so that means you don't have to take as many to get the same effect. Okay. And I can put a link. I'll look in the show notes because I'll have links to several resources, including the resources about AHCC in the notes of this video. So the next most common mistake I find is that people are not choosing high quality supplements. A lot of times people might be searching online or shopping at, let's say, Amazon or Target and just grabbing any supplement that they can find, even lower quality vitamin C or lower quality vitamin E and lower quality vitamin D. There's a difference. So you really, whenever you're choosing supplements, even vitamin C, even a multivitamin, you want to be choosing a high quality brand, meaning it needs to be professional grade. Oftentimes the professional grade supplements are not sold in stores or online stores. You really need to be buying them through a practitioner, because what happens is the professional grade companies require that someone like me has a license and demonstrates that in order to set up an account and place orders. And these are professional grade, physician grade supplements that have higher clinical effectiveness, and they also tend to be GMP certified, meaning they've been reviewed, they've been third-party tested, which means you know that what's in the bottle is actually in the bottle. What's on the label is actually in the capsule. And that's what you want. You don't want to just trust that just because a company says that's what's in there, that's what's in there. You need to be getting something where it's been tested and it's a really high quality company. Also, you want to make sure that it's high quality so that it doesn't have a bunch of unnecessary ingredients. So many supplements contain all kinds of colors and fillers and gums and waxes and things that are completely unnecessary and could even be negatively impacting your health if you consume them. So I definitely recommend looking on the bottle, look on the back of the bottle, and find out what's in the other ingredients. Is there anything in there that sounds like it's not something you really want to be swallowing every day? And does it say that it's GMP certified? And even contact the company and say, is this a professional grade company? And is it a product that you need to get from a practitioner's office? Then you know it's a professional grade. The third thing is that many people are taking supplements that are not clinically effective doses. And the thing is that a lot of supplements you can sell online. What they're trying to do is they're trying to put a lot of stuff into one bottle, into one pill. But keep in mind that there's only so much you can fit into one little capsule. So when they try to put like 8 ingredients into one product, there's a couple products like this that I'm aware of that are intended for helping with HPV and abnormal pap smears, but they are putting a bunch of ingredients into one bottle, into one capsule. And what happens is then you get only a tiny dose of everything. So you get a tiny dose of A and a tiny dose of C and a tiny dose of folate and a tiny dose of this and that. And it's not actually adding up to be clinically effective doses. So you can take it, it's not going to be harmful, but it probably isn't going to be enough to be helpful, because we know from research what are going to be the clinically effective, meaning doses that actually help your body clear HPV and heal your cervix. That's what I'm going for, is I want those clinically effective doses. And because I'm a clinical nutritionist and naturopathic doctor, I have that information. I have textbooks, a whole bookcase of textbooks over here. And that's where, in addition to the research, we can actually find what are the doses that are working, and then what are the supplements that actually contain those doses in a way that you can actually take them on a daily basis. So it needs to be clinically effective. Otherwise, probably not going to be enough. The fourth thing is we have to, when it comes to HPV, it's not just about kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and randomly taking stuff and different supplements that sound good. We need to actually have a strategy. And our strategy needs to be to address the underlying root cause why your body isn't clearing the virus to begin with. Remember, guideline number 1, which is that the human body can clear this virus. So if your body is not clearing high-risk HPV, it means that your immune system needs help. Your microbiome might need help. Your hormones might be out of balance. You might have a nutrient deficiency. We need to understand what's underlying. And your doctor's not going to tell you this. The doctor is very unlikely to tell you that there's another reason why HPV is positive and abnormal cells are happening, and we have to look for that. I call them the 8 susceptibilities, and I have other videos that describe this, so definitely look at my other videos to understand and walk you through the 8 most common susceptibilities or root causes to HPV, because we need to address those. And so when we're choosing supplements, we need to be choosing supplements that help you address those underlying susceptibilities. So it needs to match your body and what your body needs, not just something random that someone else said was good, right? We need to match your body and what it needs. And the 5th one also comes back to this concept of having an overall strategy, right? So it's not just randomly shooting in the dark, hoping that it's going to work. A lot of times I see people who might be like, okay, they have a vitamin C, and then they have a vitamin D, and then they have a zinc, and then they have a green tea, and they just have a random bunch of supplements. Could be 10 or 20 of them. And yet there's no strategy behind it. It's not saying, oh, here's exactly why this nutrient at this dose, and here's this nutrient at this dose, and here's the supplements that allow us to meet those what we're wanting, right? Instead of just choosing random things, we need a strategy first. I'm going to talk you through that. How do we create a strategy so that when you're taking supplements, they each have a purpose and the purposes are working together. So it's a synergistic blend of nutrients, herbs, and other natural substances that are going to help you with a clear focus and intention. And that's what makes a huge difference. If we're not doing that, you could just be spinning yourself in circles and feeling frustrated and not clearing HPV for years. So I really encourage you to sit down with this video and review your supplements, pull them out, think about, are you falling prey to one of those 5 mistakes that I just mentioned? Let's make sure you have high quality supplements with clinically effective doses and a clear plan of action. Then we can start talking about, okay, we have some chances of clearing this virus now, right? We have a good chance of clearing the HPV virus, and not only clearing it temporarily, but by the time we address the root causes and fix what your body needed to begin with, then your body can protect you from HPV going forward, and you don't need to take all these supplements for the rest of your life, okay? So that's why having a comprehensive plan to address the root causes is essential. What if you tested positive for high-risk HPV virus and you don't want to wait around and see if it's going to go away on its own? For many women, high-risk HPV can linger for years, taking a toll on their health and their peace of mind. I'm Dr. Doni Wilson, HPV expert, and I've been helping women for over 24 years to clear HPV to negative. I created the HPV Kickstart program as a simple, effective way to support your body's natural ability to clear HPV. This is not about waiting and hoping. This is about taking action. In fact, thousands of women have regained control of their health by following my protocol, and you can too. You deserve to take back control of your health. Join us today. You see, our immune system can be affected by stress and trauma. We all have some stress. We all have some trauma. So we need to be addressing the stress and trauma and help you recover from that. That's this book you see over my shoulder, Master Your Stress, Reset Your Health. I help people recover from stress and become resilient to the stress they have in their life, because then your immune system can effectively protect you. We also need to be looking at gut health. How is your digestion? Are you digesting your food? How is your microbiome? Are you absorbing your nutrients? Are you having inflammatory reactions to foods? And I have other videos talking you through how to heal your gut to help you heal from HPV. We also need to be doing what I call CARE, the acronym CARE, which is referring to self-care, but it's more specific than how we usually think of self-care. The acronym stands for C for clean eating. So any supplements have to fit in with a lifestyle, right? We need to be we can't just take a bunch of supplements and never address our diet, or we can't just take a bunch of supplements and never address our sleep. Okay, so we have to fit together the supplements with a very strong self-care plan. So C for clean eating, meaning we got to take out the foods that are inflammatory, any foods that are dropping your immune system, anything that contains refined sugar or alcohol that's dropping your immune system. That's got to go. We got to focus on nutrient-dense foods and high-protein foods. We also, number 2, need to make sure you're getting adequate sleep. A in CARE is for adequate sleep. Are you getting 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep, or do we need to help you to be able to get better sleep? R is for recovery activities, things like breath work, mindfulness, meditation, journaling, time in nature, music, dancing. So many activities we can choose from that we know from research help us recover from stress and trauma, right? We have to recover from the stress and trauma each and every day along the way in order to help our immune system protect you from HPV. And the E in CARE stands for exercise. So movement and exercise based on your body, your current activity level. If you haven't been exercising, we're going to start slow and bring it in gradually. If you've been over-exercising, we might have to back off, because when we over-exercise, we raise our cortisol, which is a stress hormone that can actually work against us. So we need to work on your self-care, and then we can make sure we have high-quality supplements. Okay, so let's go into the strategy of what we choose for supplements. So here's how I think about it is I'm going to go into each category, right? So if we think first about nutrients, what are the nutrients that we know help the immune system and specifically help the immune system clear high-risk HPV? Well, we can go through all the research, and in another video, I will go into more specifics about some of these. But in this video, I want you to just get an overview of how do we start to think about this. In the nutrients, we can think about everything from vitamin C, even vitamin A, both of which support the immune system and are antioxidants and help fend off HPV. There's also the B vitamins, including the main one that the research focuses on is folate. Now, a lot of the research refers to folic acid, but I want to emphasize that I'm not recommending folic acid. That's the inactive form of the nutrient. I recommend methylfolate or 5-MTHF with it, which is the active form of the nutrient. And when we use methylfolate, we get the benefit of helping to prevent abnormal cells on the cervix. There's tons of research on that. And we need to get the right dose for your body and the clinically effective dose. Okay, so methylfolate, but that's along with the other B vitamins. So we need to have folate, but also other B vitamins in active forms, which is not what you're going to find usually in most supplements. You have to be really careful. Also vitamin D, which a lot of people are often deficient in vitamin D, and it's very important for immune function. Vitamin E is one we often forget about, but you have to work hard to get a good quality vitamin E. A lot of companies take the inexpensive route and give you a low quality vitamin E. So make sure you're getting a good quality. And the other minerals like zinc and selenium, also very important for helping the immune system. So if we think about all of these nutrients, a lot of times we can get a lot of them covered in a really good quality multivitamin. But again, you need to make sure it's a professional grade and that it has active form of nutrients and clinically effective doses. And then, yes, you can take a good quality multivitamin and cover a lot of this. Now, sometimes we have to take extra separate vitamin C because there's not usually very much vitamin C in a multivitamin. So we may need extra vitamin C, and that's one that you can't. Vitamin C works better if you spread it out through the day. So you're going to want to take a dose in the morning, in the evening, and maybe even a dose in the middle of the day. And then we usually also use higher doses of folate than what you find in a multivitamin to get the clinically effective dose of folate. I'll share below the specific multi and folate and vitamin C that I recommend. In terms of herbs, there's so many herbs we know of that help the immune system and are antiviral. So there's a lot you could choose from at different forms. You can get them in capsules and teas and liquids and tinctures and so many forms. So what I do is I'm looking for high quality, professional grade, and clinically effective doses and that are going to work well for this particular patient. So one person might be choosing different than the next person. But we want to be thinking of herbs like green tea. Yes, you can drink organic green tea. You're going to need to drink 4 cups a day of organic green tea to get enough. Or you can get a capsule of high quality organic green tea in a capsule form. Also curcumin. Curcumin, again, you can eat turmeric, but you want to get a form of curcumin that can be absorbed into your body, not just in your digestion. So you want to be getting a good quality, effective dose of curcumin. Also, you can be using mushrooms. Now, mushrooms are not really plant. They're a different category than plants, but I think of it as herbs and mushrooms. And yes, I definitely put mushrooms high on the list, whether that's AHCC or I also love the research on turkey tail mushroom, which is known as Coriolis mushroom. And also reishi mushroom has so much good research at preventing cervical cancer. So you could be using more than one mushroom. Now, there's also something called beta-glucan, but beta-glucan comes from mushrooms. And what I find is that it's way more effective to use the actual whole mushroom than just the beta-glucan. So my preference is to use whole, let's say, turkey tail, reishi mushroom over just the beta-glucan. I find it to be more effective. Other herbs to consider would be other herbs that help the immune system to be antiviral, like astragalus, andrographis, echinacea, and so many more. So you want to be able to get a combination of these herbs to help you fend off the virus. We also use other herbs for other purposes, like to help with detoxification of estrogen, or to help with healing leaky gut, or to help with whatever your susceptibility is, right? We have to understand what your body needs. If it needs help with estrogen, we need to use herbs for that. If your body needs help with blood sugar, we're going to use different herbs for that. If your body needs help with your microbiome, we'll use different herbs for that. So we also can use nutrients and herbs to address your specific susceptibilities and health issues. We also want to be including a probiotic, an oral and I would say vaginal probiotic, but specifically with the oral probiotics, there are now several really good formulas out on the market that help and have research behind them to show that when you swallow the probiotic, it's a women's and vaginal balancing probiotic, you can swallow it and it can actually help heal the vaginal microbiome. So it helps to prevent yeast, BV, and HPV by swallowing a healthy women's probiotic. But this is not just one you're going to find on the shelf. You're going to need to go through a practitioner to get the high quality version that you need to be effective. And then again, I also recommend not just using supplements, but we can also use herbs and nutrients and probiotics in vaginal suppositories. So we're using them vaginally to get also some of these same purposes. Support the immune system vaginally, be anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and stabilize the environment, antioxidant, right? All of that can happen vaginally as well. You need to be working with someone who can help you to have these suppositories made, because they are not commercially available and no pharmaceutical companies making these vaginal suppositories, at least not in the United States. I have seen them in other countries you can find herbal suppositories, for example, in Europe and in India. But so far in the United States, it's not something you're going to likely find readily available like at the store or online. So you need to work with a practitioner who can help you get access to high quality, effective vaginal supplements with suppositories with herbs, nutrients, and probiotics to help the vagina heal and prevent HPV. Now, I also, in my work with patients and program participants, will even also use homeopathic remedies specific for HPV, as well as peptides that help reset the immune system, as well as gemotherapy, or what's referred to as plant stem cell therapy, which are plant extracts that are used to help the body clear HPV, and more. So there's more than just nutrients and herbs that we can use to help your body heal and clear HPV. And so that's why it's important to work with a practitioner who can help you think this through, get the right doses for you. It's going to be different based on your blood work. If you have certain nutrient deficiencies we need to address, maybe you don't need as much as someone else. It's not one size fits all. It has to be fit for you. We also need to be considering whether you're trying to get pregnant, or you might already be pregnant or breastfeeding, in which case we need to modify the supplements. There's still supplements we can use during pregnancy and breastfeeding, but it's not exactly the same as someone who's not pregnant or breastfeeding. And this is something that I help with all the time as a naturopathic doctor and midwife and women's health expert. All the time I help women with supplements during pregnancy and breastfeeding and helping them to clear HPV in the process. So this is possible. Just reach out to me, because I need to help you one-on-one to help make sure you have the right information and dosing. And we also need to consider if you have any other medical conditions, if you have any other medications that you're taking, I can make sure that there's not going to be interactions and help you be able to be effective at protecting yourself from HPV while still being able to, not conflict with any other health issues or medications that also might be part of your case. We also always have to be paying attention to, right? It's possible to have an allergic reaction or any kind of reaction to anything whether it's a food, an herb, a nutrient, or medication, there's always a potential that someone could react. So we always have to listen to your body, start with low doses, go slowly, see how your body responds and modify the doses. It's not that anyone could just get one thing online and everyone is able to take the same thing. We have to use this strategy to identify what's the most important things that work the best. And then now we got to make it fit for you and your body and your life. Some people may be vegan or vegetarian, and we need to find supplements that meet the needs we have that are vegetarian. Certainly gluten-free, dairy-free, absolutely. I always want that in the supplements that I'm looking for. And we also some people may not be swallowing capsules, and we need to look for liquids and powders, and that's all possible. There's so many high-quality supplement brands out there. It's absolutely possible. So when a person comes to me and they say, hey, I can't swallow capsules, I need a liquid, we can find that. I need it to be vegetarian or vegan. We can find that. This is all doable. So don't let any of this stop you. Or maybe you're sensitive, and I have other videos on what if you're sensitive, like me, to supplements and other substances. Well, then we need to help you navigate that. It shouldn't be that you don't get help just because of that. No, it means we just need to think it through and take it slow and understand your body step by step. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to put a link down below to my favorite top 5 supplements. This is after over 25 years of clinical experience helping women to address high-risk HPV virus. These are the supplements that rise to the top. This is not everything. And of course, again, we have to individualize it to each person. But these, if you're wondering, what are the top 5 supplements Dr. Doni recommends? I'm going to put a link down below so you can read about them. That includes high-quality multivitamin, because we can cover a lot of nutrients in clinically effective, active doses in a multivitamin. It also includes an immune support that has vitamin C, as well as other nutrients and herbs that help the immune system to fend off HPV. It includes active methylfolate in a clinically effective dose, additional vitamin A, which is not something we're going to use during pregnancy, but we can use in short term while you're fending off HPV, and a supplement called CCDG that contains all-in-one effective doses of green tea, curcumin, DIM, which is used for helping with estrogen detoxification, and Coriolis mushroom. So 4 things all in one. Amazing CCDG. So that's all in my top 5. And to learn more, then I welcome you to join me at the next How to Get Rid of HPV free online workshop, where I teach you not just about supplements, but about how to create your full comprehensive healing plan. And then I also teach you from there in the Heal HPV Kickstart program, which is a month-long program where I teach you to implement, take the supplements, do the self-care, start down this path of healing. And then I also can teach you the most comprehensive in the 3-month Say Goodbye to HPV online group program, where I teach you how to go into all of the 8 susceptibilities and fully address HPV and your whole health, and make sure that you are ready to prevent HPV from ever coming back again. So I'm so glad you're listening in. If you haven't already subscribed to my videos, then I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. And please, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to my office. We are happy to answer your questions and find out where you are, what you need help with, and tell you more about how we could potentially help you on your path to getting to HPV free. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdoni.com.